Greetings. We're going to talk about probability with a bag of marbles. And this particular bag of marbles has 20. 8 of them are blue, 6 of them are red, 4 of them are green, and 2 of them are yellow. Now, if a problem states that you are with replacement, you're performing a probability with replacement, you can assume that a marble is replaced before the next is selected. If it says without replacement, you can assume that a marble is not being replaced before the next is selected. And then always assume that the bag resets before you do the next example. So off to the side, what I like to do is when I'm given a problem like this where I've got different things happening, I like to list just the given information off to the side. So I've got 8 blue marbles, 6 red marbles, 4 green marbles, and 2 yellow marbles. And all together, that's 20 total. So I'm going to do a quick add. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 8 is indeed 20. First problem says, what's the probability of choosing blue and then red with replacement? And we've got a lot of these. Blue, then red without replacement, green, then not green with replacement. And then when we get a little bit deeper in, we start just seeing this word or. So then it says just blue or yellow, green or blue, red or green, red or blue, yellow or red or. So there's a difference between and or. So how I like to remember, if they say and or then you're going to pick one and then the other. That is multiplication. You multiply the probabilities of each. And if it says or, then you add the probabilities of each one. So we're going to start with this one right here, the and then we'll move on to the or probabilities. So the probability of blue and then red with replacement means we're going to find the probability of the blue, and then we're going to multiply that probability times the probability of the red. The probability of the blue, there's 8 blue marbles out of 20. So the probability of choosing a blue marble would be 8 out of 20. The probability of choosing a red marble, if we've replaced that blue marble, would be 6 red out of a total of 20 because we replaced the one that we chose the first time. We put it back in, so we still have 20 marbles. And then we multiply across and we get 48 over 400. That is a probability as a fraction. It's not simplified, so we would need to simplify that. As a decimal, when I multiply straight across, I get 0.12. That would be a decimal. And then if I take that and I multiply it by 100, I would get my percentage of 12%. So depending how they want the answer is how far you're going to go from your fraction to your decimal to your percentage. So I start with the fraction. I put it in my calculator and actually do the division to get the decimal, and then I multiply by 100 to get the percentage. And we're going to go all the way through to the percentage on each one of these problems, just knowing that on a test, it may stop a bit earlier. Okay, what's the probability of blue and then red? So we just did that, blue and then red, but this time without replacement. So I've got the probability of blue and then the probability of red without replacement. So 8 out of 20 for the blue. 8 blue marbles out of a total of 20. And then the red marbles, there would be 6 of them, but it's no longer out of 20 because remember I just took a blue one out. So that would be out of 19. And I multiply straight across, and my fraction is 48 over 380. When I actually perform that division, I get approximately 0.126. And when I multiply that by 100, I get 12.6%. Okay, let's try another. What's the probability of green and then not green with replacement? So the probability of green times the probability of not green. So green, there are 4 out of 20, which means there are 16 that are not green. And with replacement means I'd still be choosing one of those 16 out of 20. I multiply straight across, and I get 64 over 400. That is equal to 0.16. Multiply that by 100, and I get my percentage of 16%. Okay, green and then not green without replacement. So green and then not green without replacement. So the probability of green times the probability of not green, but this time without replacement. So our green was 4 out of 20. Our not green was 16, but it's no longer out of 20, now it's out of 19. So 16 out of 19. We're going to multiply straight across. 4 times 16 is 64, and 20 times 19 is 380. When I actually do that division, I get approximately 0.168. And when I multiply that by 100, I get about 16.8%. Okay, probability of red, then same red with replacement. Red and then the same exact red marble. So let's say how many red marbles do we have? I'm going to have to copy this because I like to see this information. So you might want to copy that as well. I'm just going to go ahead and paste it right here so that I can see it. So there's 6 red marbles, and we would number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I pick a red marble and it's got a number 4 on it, I put it back and I want to pick that same exact marble. So the probability of a red and then the probability of the same red with replacement. So the red would be 6 out of 20. That same red, there's only one that is the same exact red. So that would be 1 out of 20. I'm going to multiply straight across, and I get 6 over 400. And I put that into my calculator, and I get 0.015. Multiply that by 100, and I get 1.5%. 1.5%. Now, what would the probability of red then same red without replacement be? Well, let's look at this. The probability of red and then the probability of the same red without replacement. Well, there's 6 out of 20 total red marbles. And that same red, there's only one of them that's the same exact red marble out of 19. No, how could we do that? If we took it out and we don't put it back in, is it possible for it to be there for us to choose? if I don't replace it. So I take the marble out. I'm going to draw you a little picture here. Okay, here's the red marble right there. And I take that marble out. We'll put a few more marbles in there just so it looks colorful. There's some green ones. Okay, so we've got marbles in there. If I take this red marble out and I don't put it back in, how can I pick that same red marble a second time? You can't. So this would not be 1. This would be 0 out of 19. That same red marble's not there once you take it out. And then when you multiply straight across, you get 0 over 380, which is 0. Multiply that by 100 and you still get 0%. It's not possible. So 0% means it is not happening. I'm going to say not possible though, because that sounds more mathematical, but it's not happening. Have to be magic. Okay, then we have these 4 right here. So we're going to practice these 4. Not green, then not blue. Not green, then not blue with replacement. Not green, then not blue without replacement. And then the other 4. So go ahead and press pause. And then when you come back, I'll have all the work shown for you. And we'll reveal our answer. Okay, welcome back. Probability of not green times the probability of not blue with replacement. Not green, there would be, let's see, we've got 4 green, so not green would be 16 out of 20. I put it back in, and then not blue, there's 12 that are not blue out of 20. 16 times 12 over 20 times 20 is 192 over 400, and that is equal to 0.48, which is 48%. Now in the next problems, I'm going to go straight from multiplying to the actual percent. So hopefully you've gotten some practice. Here's our fraction. So this is probability as a fraction. This is our probability or our answer as a decimal. And this is our probability as a percentage. And I'm going to go straight to the percentage. And if you've got that, then that means you did the fraction and the decimal properly. Not green would be 16 out of 20. Now I take that not green out, and let's think about this. Then not blue. Well, I know that I take it out and I don't replace it, so there's 19. But if it's not blue, not green, and then not blue without replacement, this one's going to be a little tricky one. This one's going to be a little tricky one. I may have to come back in another video and explain that. Let's do the next one. Blue, then yellow with replacement. Blue, then yellow with replacement. Let's see, blue. How many blues are there? 8 out of 20. And then yellow, 2 out of 20. And then yellow again, 2 out of 20. And I multiplied that all the way across, and I got 0.4%. Then we've got 8 out of 20 times 2 out of 19 times 1 out of 18. And I've got to just do this multiplication. 16 divided by and I got approximately, because I'm going to have to round, 0.233 3%. I'm going to go out 2 decimal places just because I want to show you I got this on my screen. And I just want to make sure that we put it into the calculator all the same. Okay, so let's go back to this probability of not green and then not blue. So if it's not green, then I've taken it out. Okay, so it could have been any color but green. That one comes out. Then the ones that are not blue, let's see, there would be 12 of them. There would be 12 of them. And I do think that this might be a little bit, I'm going to go with it. I'm getting about 50.5%. So if that's what you got, that's what we're going to go with, because I think that that's what the intention was. Just not to be too complicated, just to make sure that you're getting the whole with replacement, the denominator stays the same. Without replacement, that denominator keeps reducing by 1 with every marble that you take out. Now in the last video, we're going to do the OR situation.